method now to teach the rest of the technical teachers in Kenya. By January, we will have rolled everywhere. And for your information, Kenya, starting September, will move 100% competence-based in all the TVET institutions. So welcome to Kenya School of TVET. Unless there is a question of discussion, we will take that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the CEO, Kenya School of TVET. I wanted to give this opportunity to the leader of the Chinese delegation, maybe to tell us something. I'm informed that he understands English, he can speak in English. Is that okay, Helen? Yes. So just come around and maybe tell them something.
Good morning, and thank you so very much for the CEO of WorldSkills national competition, and also CEO for KS TVET. And we have a very clear picture what you offer the program to the teachers training. And I also would like to take this opportunity to share more information about the China-Africa TVET consortium. And we are going to have, actually our China's President Xi Jinping just mentioned a week ago that we are going to have the Ministry of Education in China will organize every year for 500 TVET college administrators and teachers training in China, and also for the 100 plus 100 partnership between Chinese colleges and TVET colleges and African colleges. So this group, we are from the 8 provinces and 14 TVET colleges and universities. So we come here for the promotion of the China-African TVET Cooperation. Yeah, and thank you for let us understand of your system and your colleges. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the leader of the delegation from China. I've just been informed that I need to give a chance to the Director General TVET Zimbabwe. Then after that, I will give a chance to the official delegate from Uganda. And then before TVETA, we shall have the State Minister for Basic Education, Uganda. Then the CEO TVETA will wrap it up. So at this point, please welcome the Director General TVET Zimbabwe to come and say something.
Thank you so much, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank you, though my colleague was just asking whether we were prepared to say it. It's not an issue. We are colleagues in the field. I want to thank the government of China and Kenya for this gathering. Very much happy. I was very much touched when he was talking about the competence-based education training, which is a system that we have already also adopted. It seems to be working well as of now. But maybe what I will be wanting you to explain is how you do the designing and the implementation of our curriculum in terms, because these centers, there are so many of them in various provinces, in various constituencies and all the like. But now it is the coordination, the designing of the curriculum. Is it one curriculum, or we are having a scenario whereby each province is doing its own curriculum? And what are the benefits of those strategies? In our country, I know we have got it's a national thing. Curriculum is one for a particular discipline, and sometimes the implementation and of that might have some challenges. But I just want to borrow some information in how you are doing it, how you are coordinating the designing, implementation, maybe assessment of the TVET. Because I know TVET is highly technical. You have assessors from the industry, and also the relationship with the training institutions and the industry. I was very much touched with my colleague, when we visited the Xi'an University, Xi'an province in China. They've got a railway system institutions that works very closely with the industry. So I think that sharing of information is very necessary. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the efforts that we are doing in the development of skills to our nations. I know people, they have got problems, but these problems must have solutions from us, and the training must provide the solutions to those societal problems. Thank you so much.
Yes, I just want to say that in the afternoon we also have another meeting. So time is really running. It is now 11 o'clock. I'm also informed that there is somebody from Ghana who wants to say something. But as I had said, I'll give an opportunity to the official delegate for the WorldSkills. Yes, to come and say something briefly. Then after that, we get the state minister. Yes.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, my Minister, Honorable Joyce Kaduchu, the CEO of WorldSkills Kenya, and the head of delegation in China. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I want to thank for this opportunity from the Kenyan government and AVIC International that has made Uganda to come and be here and see how our brother Kenya is running as far as WorldSkills International and WorldSkills Kenya is concerned. We joined WorldSkills International before Kenya, but since going on, Kenya is doing better than Uganda because it is now a full member, and we are seeing this well-organized competition. For us today, we have learned, we have seen what you are doing, and we had a change with the CEO, and we pray that when we go back to Uganda, we'll be able to do something. We have agreed to support one another as Africa, and we see the issue of skills training and the competition going ahead. I want to conclude by thanking my minister for being part of this big event. That is showing just a lot of commitment from the Ugandan government. And Honorable Minister, you have seen what is here. We know that you are going to give us a lot of support when we go back. For the Chinese government, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity, for God and my country, Uganda.
Thank you very much. Now I would like us to welcome the State Minister for Basic Education Uganda to come and say something.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time, allow me observe already the stated protocol. With respect to all of you who have gathered here, I just have 3 points. One, I bring a very warm, cordial greetings from His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda and the people of Uganda to the Republic and the people of Kenya. We, the people of Uganda, we stand with you in solidarity in the area of skilling our people, the TVET industry, and to ensure that as a nation, as Africa, we move together in solidarity. My second point is really to thank the CEO, the people of China and the people of Kenya through the director, and all of you for inviting us to participate in this very important, challenging competition. As a colleague has said, almost all African nations have moved away from teacher-based curriculum to student-centered, competence-based curriculum, of which we want to learn from one another. We want to move together as nations. We want to move together and learn from one another as member states. And that's why we are here. We are very happy to see what is taking place in this competition. We are very happy of the new innovation, the technology, the skills that is being demonstrated. And my third point is that I think it is a right time for Africa to be producers other than continuous consumers. We have been consuming products all over the world. We've been receiving all the TVET products, all the furnitures we've seen, all the electrical products, all the other things that we've seen today, they come outside Africa. And this is the time for us to put a spirited fight, to be producers so that we can export our products to other countries and they are able to appreciate and buy our product. And finally, I want to commit, as people of Uganda, we pledge to walk this journey with you to be sure that we skill our people to be competent, to be able to transfer the skills and the knowledge across member states. I thank you for God and my country.
Thank you very much. So glad. I agree with the State Minister that as Africa, we should be producers and not consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, I now want to move to Ghana, where we have the Deputy Director TVET to come and say something. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right. Without wasting much time, I also stand on the highly respected protocol already established. I'm not the Deputy Director. I'm the Deputy Director General of the Commission for TVET. So that is very important. I pumped in here today not for this particular event. So I was surprised when I was called to come and give a speech. We came in here for a visit organized by AVIC for the event tonight. And we are here to join you for this wonderful thing you're doing here. I am happy, very much happy, because the world today is about TVET. And TVET is the solution to the unemployment situation across the world. Anything we do is about TVET. The water we drink at home is TVET people who pump it, treat it, and supply it to our homes. the electricity we enjoy at home. The technical people generate the power, step it up, transmit it, step it down, distribute it to our homes. The builders, they build the house, they roof it, they tile it, they paint it, they decorate it, we stay in, we enjoy. The dress that we're wearing here, the 85% on you, your suit, your tie, your shoe, your belt, your watch, everything was done by a TVET. So TVET is the world. TVET technically holds the world. So I am happy. You see, among other countries, technical and vocational education is the most expensive training among all educational training. Most governments do not invest in it. But I'm happy that things are changing. In Ghana, there were so many, ministries that used to have one form of other training people to have skills. And then we used to have mainstream TVET institution also managed by Ministry of Education. It got to a point we saw that it is also part of the reason why people have had negative perception about TVET. So the government took a decision to align all of them, bring all of them to come under one umbrella, to be supervised by the Ministry of Education, for them to use one curriculum, a harmonized curriculum, so that the training that is happening at anywhere in the country will be the same. And these are some of the reformative policies the government has taken in Ghana to shape the technical and vocational education in Ghana. So I'm happy that we are all synced, we are all in line, knowing that TVET is the solution for the world's problem. I hope we will all share ideas and then see how we can think together to help our youth to gain skills to be able to make money for themselves, not to depend on the other people to make money for them. So thanks so much. Without taking my time, I bless you and I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director General, TVET in Ghana. I think I agree with you that everything is TVET and therefore TVET is life. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like us to put our hands together to welcome the Chief Executive Officer of TVETA, Dr. Langat.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to stand on the already established protocols and because of time. And I welcome all of you, all the delegations from China, delegation from Uganda headed by the Minister, Joyce, delegation from Zimbabwe, my good friend from the Commission for TVET, Ghana, which we have been sharing a lot in terms of how we are implementing the TVET reforms in the continent, and also one of the members of WorldSkills International. We've been sharing together. And we feel delighted as WorldSkills Kenya to have you as part of the delegation visiting us. You cannot imagine how you have enriched these functions, because even in our documentary that we are going to make for this event, we are capturing you as part of our cast and attending this. There is a very special way how courts work, because we had not invited you, but you are here. and we are very, very happy that when we were planning, God was also planning on how to make this a special event, and we are happy. We organized this WorldSkills competition together with AFIC. And we have, this year, we have 18 skills areas that we are presenting competitors. 12 of them are happening here at the Kenya School of TVET. 2 skills areas are happening at the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, that is Industry 4.0 and Mechatronics. Other 2 skills areas in Boma International Hospitality College in Culinary Arts or Cooking and Restaurant Service. And 2 skills have already been concluded at the Technical University of Kenya, sponsored by AFIC, that is CNC lathe and mechanical computer-aided design. All these bring together to 18 skills. We have also agreed next year we are going to integrate the program with AFIC so that this competition will be running concurrently. The other thing is WorldSkills Kenya. We are part of the movement that is now establishing WorldSkills Africa to be the platform for exchanging ideas and promoting the skills among our youth in the continent. We are the only continent without the WorldSkills body. We have WorldSkills Europe, we have WorldSkills Asia, and we have WorldSkills Americas. So, God willing, before March next year, we will be having WorldSkills Africa. And this is the platform that will bring us together. Remember, currently, we are the continent with the highest number of young people, close to 800 plus million young people in Africa, and which we want to promote their skills through skills competition. So we are happy to have you here. We know that you still have a long day before the function in the evening. And thank you very much for finding time to be with us. You've promoted this event. You've encouraged our young people. We are all for the same cause, promoting skills among the young people. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Allow me to recognize some of my directors who are here. Chairman of TVET Board, TVETA Board, Professor Florence Indede. One of my directors, Sami Milgo, is also with me here. All the TVETA staff who are here can kindly stand. This event also is supported by World Bank through ISTRIP. ISTRIP representative Acharina is here. We have the grandfather of TVET and the first African to have PhD in TVET, Professor Kere, who also happened to have been my teacher. And all the participants who are here, thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Langat. Dr. Langat actually heads a body in Kenya, that is TVETA, which is responsible for quality assurance of TVET. I didn't know that Professor Kere is here. He was also my lecturer, and he has taught everybody in TVET. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Prof. Thank you. I also had an opportunity to see the name of the chair of TVETA, Dr. Florence. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, because of time, because we really we have another function somewhere, and I can see it is 11:15 by my watch. Actually, we have less than 1 hour. CEO, yeah? Yes, only places, I think. Only 2 places. So we have less than 1 hour to move to the Kenya School of TVET and see around. Then after that, we shall break. We shall allow the Chinese delegation to go back to the hotel because they are required somewhere at exactly 2 o'clock. Thank you very much, visitors, for coming. Thank you.
Good morning. The ones that we are going to join the panel discussion and listen to the keynote speech, let us move in front. Our panelists are already there. Let us occupy the front seats. Tafadhali tusonge mbele kwa viti vya mbele. Yes. Na ujanitumia. start. My name is Dr. Paul Wanyeki. I work with TVET Authority. Today we are going to have a keynote speech and a panel discussion. All our panelists and the keynote speaker are already with us. So I'll introduce the session moderator, who will in turn introduce the keynote speaker. And after that, we'll have the panel discussion. Our keynote, our moderator today is Dr. Kande, who is the Acting Director General of Kenya National Qualification Authority. Prior to her appointment, Alice was the Deputy Director for Planning, Research Outreach, and Policy at the same authority. She holds a doctorate degree in Business Administration, Strategic Management from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, a Master's in Business Administration, and Bachelor of Education, both from Kenyatta University. She is a member of the Academy of International Business, Sub-Saharan Africa chapter. Prior to joining Kenya National Qualification Authority, she was a senior research officer at the Commission for University Education. She previously taught at Riara University School of Business and Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Now it's my pleasure and my request that we humbly welcome Dr. Alice Kande.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Wanyeki. All protocols observed, good morning. That is a long and short story about myself. You've heard my name is Alice Kande, so happy to be here this morning to really have this important dialogue that is so close to our hearts and to our nation. So very privileged to be here this morning. And so without further ado, we would like to invite our keynote speaker this morning, none other than the Director General and CEO of Technical Vocational Education and Training Authority, Dr. Kip Kirui Langat, who has a very impressive profile, as you can see. Dr. Langat is currently the Director General of TVET Authority and the CEO of WorldSkills Kenya. Of course, we know that very well and really appreciate what Dr. Ri has been able to drive together and in collaboration with so many stakeholders. Dr. Langat has a wealth of experience in both public and private sectors, with over 26 years of experience in TVET and academia, having joined TVET as an assistant lecturer and rose through the ranks. How privileged to have someone who really understands the whole system for those many years. Dr. Langat holds a PhD in Engineering Systems and Management from Egerton University, a Master of Philosophy in Technology Education, Automotive Technology, a Master of Business Administration, Strategic Management from Moi University, and a Bachelor of Education in Technology Education from Moi University. In addition, Dr. Langat has served as an expert in development of training curricula in TVET and the University for Mechanical and Automotive Engineering. He's been consulting for United Nations Environment Program in developing guidelines for transport emissions for the East African community. He's a member of Technical Committee on Road Transport Standards at KEPS and a consultant for Boston Garage Equipment UK since 2007 to date. He's a member of the Advisory Committee of the Bridging Innovation and Learning in TVET project, a joint initiative of UNESCO, UNIVOC, the German Federal Institute for Vocational Education and Training of the Quality, and a member, he's also a member of the Quality Control Board of Supporting Alliance for African Mobility. That's a pilot VET mobility project in the EU Skills for Youth Employability Program of the Africa-EU Partnership. Dr. Langat serves as a member of Orange Knowledge Program, that is OKP, sounding board, an expert group that oversees implementation of programs supported by NAFIC from Netherlands. He's a fellow member of the Institution of Engineering Technologists and Technicians of Kenya, and he has widely published in areas of transport emissions and TVET. And allow me also to say that Dr. Langat is also my senior. He's been serving in the board of the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, bringing all these kind of rich experience that you've had, and I'm sure you've also interacted with him. And so what a privilege that we have this opportunity to hear from Dr. Langat, who will be giving us a speech on innovation solutions in TVET for job creation, employability, and higher productivity. Join me in welcoming Dr. Kip Kirui Langat. Karibu sana daktari. Makofi ingine tafadhali. Get here.
Well, you'll agree with me that rarely do we read what we put in our CV until someone else reads for you. We do some of the things and we forget, and you think that maybe no one knows. But I'm privileged to stand before you this morning to share an experience in innovation solution in TVET for job creation, employability, and higher productivity. As we all know that TVET is a very critical component of productivity, and that is why we highly invest. And where an education system is not responsive to the demand of the market, that is where most institutions, most companies, most businesses have established their own training system, just because of the importance that the TVET or the skills put in this. So as you all are aware that TVET is very important at a very global stage, both regional and national, in guiding or contributing to the Sustainable Development Goals. And particularly, all of us, anytime we talk of TVET and SDG, we basically look at SDG number 4, which push on inclusive, equitable, quality education for purposes of promoting lifelong learning, opportunities for all, and especially when we want to see education contributing the quality of life. And also, where we meet with the industry is that education or TVET must promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full of productive employment, and decent work for all. You all agree that sometimes we have subjected people to work in conditions that has not maybe provide that conducive environment that we will be happy that I'm working in this particular environment. And for that reason, when we give them skill, they are able to get opportunities in places where skills are recognized and are rewarded. When we are looking at the TVET value chain, especially in the entire training, we look at the process of input, which we are looking at the trainees. When we are bringing them into the education or training system, basically with very limited or no skills at all, then we look at the processes that take place for this person to be given skills. And in this case, we look at regulations, we look at curriculum development, we look at the training delivery, we even look at the assessment and certification process. when we are looking at the processes, and which is the most complex of all this value chain, this requires ideal reforms to enhance quality, relevance, equity, inclusivity, access, and positive perception of TVET. The negative perception of TVET generally across the world sometimes is informed by the processes which are not clear, or processes which are not supporting the output as desired by the industry. And therefore, when there is no link between what we produce in the system and the industry, then it gives people no hope to see going to that. Then the output, which in most cases is a desired product, is a skilled human resource. And in this case, skills acquired must be relevant and responsive to the labor market, and must always speaks to the demand of the market. And as you are aware, students belong to the training system for a season, for the period that they are students, and belong to the world of work for the rest of their life. The training space also must be receptive to the changes in the labor market, so that you also contribute towards retooling and reskilling of some of these workers when they are in the labor market, so that they are always remain relevant. And that is why we're saying TVET provide for long life training. And what we look at, and of course TVET serve different purposes in different parts of the world. In a situation where the formal jobs are not as many as the graduates of our TVET institution, then we need to provide an alternative way of how this graduate gets into the labor market. And in this case, we look at innovation, entrepreneurship, and incubation as a way of encouraging products of our TVET system, not only to look for formal employment, but also think of how they can innovate and grow businesses of their own, right from small to medium, and be big companies that we desire. So when we look at innovation, which is a combination of business development processes, infrastructure, and people that support new ventures through early stage of development. And in this case, if you go to most of these developed economies, in all the TVET institutions, they provide for system of identifying ideas from learners. Those ideas are nurtured through an innovation process, incubation process, where both learning institution and the industry meet together to process this, and eventually these ideas are converted into business, and they grow, as I mentioned, from small to big. This happens through establishment of innovation centers, which are a subset of wider range of international policies adopted to create or facilitate environment for entrepreneurship. So then there is a very big connection between innovation and entrepreneurship, because when you innovate, it's an idea that you create through your intellect, your thinking, in trying to solve an existing societal problem. But how you want to drive it in a more sustainable way is when you instill a business idea into that innovation through a process of entrepreneurship, and then you nurture it into a business and grow it through the process of that entrepreneurship. So the best approaches for then incubation centers, when we are thinking of establishing, is first to promote entrepreneurship sector across various trade, cultural and service industry incubation. We also have adoption of policy mix and objective, so that we look at both a situation that benefits an individual who is the initiator of this idea, the center where it is nurturing this idea, and the wider public which is going to benefit out of this idea. And you have to balance between the interest of these three sectors, handled as a major part of industry restructuring, and therefore for any incubation process, the industry must be there, and in most cases takes a lead, and introduction of entrepreneurial culture to socially excluded groups. And this is very common in developing countries where there are a lot of exclusiveness in most of the things that we do. And therefore, if we target to use it as a way of inclusivity, then that it creates a bigger impact, and this be looked at it in terms of what are the desired results that you intend to achieve when you are putting this. We also have internship, job placement, and career services. And in this case, the internship, as again I mentioned, is where we introduce skill acquisition, both either in terms of product development or business development, through a process of mentorship. So internship opportunities to target trainers and trainees. And the reason is that trainers are going to be the facilitators of this process. But you find, if you are a trainer and you are training so many, you have so many trainees, there are those ones which are very good ideas, which needs to be nurtured. And therefore you become a facilitator so that you allow even some of these individuals who even have greater ideas than what you have. But as a trainer, you know how to facilitate good and great ideas to come out and be nurtured for the benefit of that individual and the society. And the purpose is really to bridge the skills shortage and skills gap caused by the technology evolution, and to enhance the trainees' adaptability to work after training. Of course, where the training environment will not guarantee everything that you require for acquisition of particular skills, then that internship provides a very good alternative. And that is why even when we were working on a trainer's qualification framework, we made internship a mandatory as part of CBD that you need to acquire within the 3 years when you remain licensed. The reason is so that you become acquainted and relevant to the technological changes. We don't want a situation when our students come back from attachment, they have more information than the trainer. And I'm not saying it is wrong for students to have more information than a trainer, but it is good so that you speak the same language as a facilitator. And you also learn from the trainees when they come back from attachment. The strategies, therefore, to realize this is incorporations of the same in national trainers framework, as I mentioned, elaborate training programs. The thing is, again, the internship needs to be structured in the sense that when you are in the industry, you have a structured program that you are following with very clear outcomes of that program, so that you are able to determine or you are able to attest the specific skills acquisition at the end or by the end of that program. Then be conducted in the industry setup, and that is why industry involvement is very crucial. Bring industry players through the process of curriculum development, implementation and evaluation. And especially when we are talking of competence-based training, in the design of curriculum, not even design of curriculum, right from the design of the occupational standards, the industry is very key, but also in the process of validation, and even during the delivery, we have adjunct expert from the industry that can deliver certain specific skills during the entire curriculum process. The other one also is the job placement and career services. And this again help people to identify their careers quite early in terms of where your interests are and how you can nurture that interest to be beneficial, not only to that individual, but the society that individual will be serving. So find answers to career development questions, and especially when people are trying to define where their interests are and what they are likely to do best when they join into career. They asked a lot of questions, and we need experts to be able to do this. And that's why even during career process, you even have to do a test to ascertain exactly the interest and the capabilities of this individual to specific trade. Enhancing job placement and careers, as mentioned, the strategies is develop career guidance policy, guidelines in collaboration with the relevant public and private stakeholders. You also need to establish a career guidance service unit in every TVET institution, capacity build the TVET trainers and professional career guidance, and conduct tracer studies to inform relevant policies and processes, curriculum development, career. And I want to attest, when we were looking at the selecting trainers, competitors for ICT related, and we were trying to get application for our institution for specific skill areas, we realized none of our TVET institution applied because the program they are currently running are not in any of the skill areas that we are looking at. So we must also be able to know exactly what the industry demands. And we develop programs that speak to that. The career services unit in TVET also should provide information that as you develop career guidance, then career development and employability should be what is guiding. Things like labor market trends and demands. How then do you speak to what the industry demands in terms of the solution that we are offering through training? Soft skills and CV writing interview. And soft skills is becoming very, very essential because we're dealing with human beings who provide, 30% of productivity comes through human resource. And soft skills is what make you productive. As I always mention, technical skills get you hired, soft skills take you fired. So you have to have the mix if you are supposed to remain. And when we are promoting skills development by industry, then what exactly do we look at? And I'm very sure the engineer Ogenga will speak into this. Most of the progressive TVETs in the world are driven by industry through support of the industry. We are looking at the levy schemes, which is paid by industry to support skills development. We look at the incentive, like tax incentive, especially when you want industry to support industry attachment and internship. When you give them tax credit, the holidays, they are able to take that money and support the training within the industry. We also have subsidies to subsidize skills development, especially when it is happening in the industry. And some of these are the things that we provided or submitted to the working party. Grants to motivate employers to establish extra training places, and especially when we are talking of workplace training. and tooling for graduates, especially when we train on a specific trade areas and we want these people to go out. We provide them with tools so that they can go and start their businesses. Also redesign of apprenticeship scheme, and this again is very important. I think also Engineer Ogenga will speak to this because he's currently spearheading an apprenticeship network for Africa on how we are going to share experiences in the rest of Africa. Capacity building of employers to make better use of apprentices. And we also need to have legislation that will guide the entire process to make sure that we do the right thing. And then we rebrand which are designed to make apprenticeship scheme more attractive to employers because of the benefits that you are getting through already available labor. The other thing that we look at is industry promoting and recognizing skilled youth through WorldSkills competition, and this is what we are doing today. And basically, WorldSkills is a membership organization by member countries, started sometime back in 1915 in Spain. The first competition was between Portugal and Spain, and this was initiated as a way of attracting young people to go for vocational training, because after the Second World War, when they were reconstructing Europe, they realized they didn't have enough skills, and skills competition was one strategy to encourage more members. Competition, go back to that skill, happen every 2 years. Currently we have 85 members countries. We are member number 84. There is one member that joined after us in 2020, but we expect this year there's General Assembly, so we have more members joining, and 9 members in Africa so far, and Kenya is one of the most active members in the continent. We have 66 skill areas in WorldSkills skill sets. The 18 skills areas that we have here are among the 66. And the membership of 85 countries reaches, is comprised of 2/3 of world population, and it controls 90% of the world's GDP. And therefore, the WorldSkills is promotion of skills with industry, government, and academia. And that is why in every WorldSkills competition, there is issues of exhibition and innovation, conferences to discuss policies and research finding, and the skills competition itself. WorldSkills in 2019 that happened in Russia was the 45th competition. There were 63 countries out of the, I think that time there were about 80 members, and 63 of them, and there were 1,354 competitors in 56 skills, you can imagine. As we went to African competition for the first time last year, and it was the second African competition. The first one was 2018 in Kigali. We had 9 countries, and we had 16 skill areas, and we had more than 100 competitors competing in Namibia. Next slide. Next slide. Of course, I mentioned skills is for promoting job creation. When you look at the skills, as I mentioned, how they are developed and how they are linked to job market, is that skills are meant to address the needs of individuals through providing capacity to get jobs, and also a socioeconomic development by having the skills addressing the needs of the industry. So we look at it in terms of education and training. It also provides international collaboration because when you compete with the rest of the world, you have a network. It also research, especially when we have conferences and exhibition, innovation that is a product of research. Then you have the competition itself, as I mentioned, and also during the competition, there are a lot of discussion about career building and career guidance. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
I think he's really done justice to those few minutes that we have listened to him. You can bear me witness that he has really unpacked for us really where we are in terms of really appreciating where skilling can actually take us in terms of job creation, in terms of enhancing employability, in terms of leveraging the space that we are in and all the players that are in there. It was interesting to hear that for purposes of this World Skilling event, have heard that none of our TVET trainers in a certain area were actually able to apply to fit in. Is it in IT? Yes, and you can imagine that the purpose for participation in the current skills is because they are the ones that are current. And so how is it that as trainers, we are actually preparing our students, our learners? So we need to move away from front-loading skills because for a long time we've been doing that and look at what is it that the industry is expecting and work from there. So what is this that the labor market really expect of this particular person to deliver? Thank you so much once again, Dr. Langat. I have requested that he sits here because for now we're going to have a panel discussion so that we can hear more on and get further on this dialogue of skilling. And we're going to be joined by 4 other of our colleagues to really expound and delve deeper in this conversation. And so our next speaker or panelist to join us is Engineer Stephen Ogenga. And I would like to read his profile, another rich profile here. Engineer Stephen Ogenga is the Director General of the National Industrial Training Authority, that is NITA. Engineer has served previously as Director of Industrial Training at NITA, as a Deputy Director in charge of TVET programs at KICD, a Senior Assistant Director in charge of Industrial and Applied Sciences at KIE, a lecturer in the Department of Computer Science and Technology at Maseno University, and a tutorial fellow at the University of Botswana. Engineer Ogenga holds a Master of Engineering Science, Computer Engineering, from CUT, let me call it CUT, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and a Bachelor of Engineering Technology, that is Electrical and Electronics, from USQ, Australia. Engineer Ogenga is a member of the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers and a fellow of the Institute of Engineering Technologists, FIET Kenya. He serves as the Deputy Executive Chair of the Sub-Saharan African Skills and Apprenticeship Stakeholders Network, that is SANNET, and representing East and Central Africa. He serves as a board member of the Kenya Accountants and Secretaries National Examinations Board, that is KASNEP, a council of the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, that is KNQA, and an academic committee member of Railway Training Institute. Another rich profile there. We are privileged to be joined by